Right now, Fox 17 is following the latest on the Wells Fargo credit card scheme. Millions of people impacted by this. Jim Higgins from the Higgins Group joins us right now to give us a little more perspective on this. So we've all heard about this. 2 million people defrauded when these accounts were open. A lot of people thinking, okay, I'm going to get justice on this. I'm going to file a lawsuit against Wells Fargo in this case. That may not necessarily be the best course of action. That can't happen, though, right?
Well, that's what a lot of these Senate hearings have brought to light, and it's kind of brought a new discussion out in D.C. and across the country, and that is, in most of these cases, and some had already been filed before this all hit the news, they were dismissed out of court because people sign arbitration clause. And what's interesting is you sign an arbitration clause for a credit card that you actually want.
Right.
They fraudulently opened 3 or 4 more, and Wells Fargo has been arguing, well, you sign that clause and it says anything you do with us is going to go to arbitration.
So essentially, what can you do in this situation right now, if that's the case? It's
hard. I mean, the problems with arbitrations is when you have small damages, and that's what a lot of people have. It may impact their credit rating a little bit. I mean, you got a feeling of violation, but if your damages are $1,000 or $2,000, arbitrations cost way more than that.
Sure.
And the thing is, everybody cringes sometimes on class actions, but this is exactly what a class action would be for, where a lot of people have small damages. They couldn't afford to bring a lawsuit by themselves, but they could band together and bring one. And these arbitration agreements are going to keep that from a lot of people happening, so they'll be left with nothing.
With nothing. Are you seeing a lot of cases like this right now?
Well, we have a lot of arbitration fights with our nursing home cases. You know, there are so many cases where people go in and they sign arbitration clause and they have no idea. They're in a stack of paper, and they're in the back of your credit card, the back of your phone bill, and these big corporations have gotten to where over the past few decades they use them everywhere to protect themselves.
Do you see this changing anytime soon, protecting the customer here at this point?
Yeah, I think so. What happens is it always swings back and forth, and when something like this happens with Wells Fargo, it starts hitting the paper that, hey, all these people may be left holding the bag and they're making billions.
Yeah.
Then the government says, hey, we need to reel these back a little bit, and let's stop having arbitration clauses where the bargaining power is so uneven.
Okay, Jim Higgins joining us with a little bit of perspective on what happens next. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jay.